chords, whatever we've evolved into, he who rings the most chords usually wins. Not always, but usually. So sometimes we need it to be about the style, and sometimes it's just about the chords. And occasionally they'll get to sort of an end of a phrase of a big chord, and you'll kind of just be stylistic at that point. In other words, there might be a little scoop, or it might be a little bit of chew to a target sound, or a little bit of vibrato, which is okay, but sometimes we just want a good old honking chord. There it is. So we'll work a little bit on that. Just, it's, again, subtle things. I think for you guys, I know you guys and I've heard you sing. It sounds like in general you're singing thinner, and maybe an attempt to kind of match Theo. What I would like to hear from you guys is just sort of exploring more open spaces. And I know you're capable of that, but at times it's just true. Just a little bit more of that kind of up and over sound. And I think you guys know how to do that. But it seems like, I mean, is this sort of a choice? Are you guys trying to sort of sing a little pingier, a little more forward?
Sort of, but not to that level.
Okay, so I think it's happening whether you've been told to or subconsciously it's happening, which means you're smart singers and you're sort of adapting Theo because he does have a brighter sound, but it still needs to have that kind of balance. I mean, resonance is about equal parts lift and forward, and right now it's much more forward than lift. So we don't want to go true. We need to have sort of both of those elements, but it's both of you guys and your brother, so you ought to be able to snap right into that. And for you, David, it's just don't suck. That's your main job. Yeah, and finish your post. No, I would say, I mean, overall, I think your placement is such a bright, clean, ringy sound. You tend to under-enunciate a lot. And I understand where it comes from. We're trying to get good lines and phrases, but sometimes they're just not consonants. And you're responsible for the story. You're every bit as much responsible for telling the story. You know, we've sort of said for a long time it's the lead's job. Well, it's not really. It's all of our jobs to communicate that. And if it's just, that's an exaggeration, of course, it's not what you did. But we want to make sure that we understand the consonants. So that's very good. Now, collectively, that's a couple of visual things that I'll keep circling back to, and we'll work on those. Collectively, what I'm hearing is very, very good sort of lines, very, very good kind of connected singing when it matters. Sometimes you guys get a little bit kind of choppy, a little bit sort of choppy. Now, the thing about singing choppy is you absolutely should do it, but only after you've had great sustained moments of chords. In other words, is it true what they say about Dixie? Or what, again, exaggeration. Only works if before that you just had great connected lines. And sometimes you have extended moments of just being really punchy, and it loses that sort of connected sound. So we'll work on that too. So let's just take it from the top. And is it free verse at the top a little bit? Yeah. Okay, so we'll just start there, and then we'll kind of work our way through it.
I know that's a lot straight from the heart, but we'll come back to that. Doomba, 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 doomba. People brag, people boast.
Have you guys sing that.
Okay. Doomba, 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 doomba. People brag, people boast.
Okay, so when both of you guys do me a favor, I want you to hold your noses and sing that line.
Dooba, 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 dooba. People brag, people boast.
Yeah. So you feel how much sound is wanting to kind of get into the nose? Now, the nasal cavity is not a primary resonator. It's okay if there's some sound escaping through there, but it's not a primary resonator. And if there's a lot of sound escaping, it just simply means that the soft palate isn't lifted enough. When the soft palate lifts, it effectively kind of closes off the nasal passage, so as much sound won't get through there. So it's doomba, 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 people. Doomba, 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 people. They won't be there, it'll be here. So it's just that little bit. Now, we're not talking about being dark. We're talking about just balancing that forward edge that you guys have with just a little bit more space. So why don't you try this? I want you to sing that on an ooh. And make it as much of a lifted ooh, like ooh owl kind of sound as you can make it. Okay? Keep it forward as well. Yeah, that's good, good. I know, and see, here's the thing. Here's what you have to focus on, and especially going forward with this stuff. is you have to focus on the process and not the output. As you're beginning to sort of change resonance and sort of explore where your voice is, if you're only focused on right here, right now, it doesn't sound as good, then you're probably right. But what we have to think about is we have to stay true to the process and knowing that the outcome eventually will be better. But it's not about creating a perfect or right outcome right now, because it's just exploring it. But it's just about finding more space. P, not losing the forward edge, because it was like, but it's adding lift to the brightness that you have. Do that again, just on it.
High again. Like, yeah, up and over. So if you talk to it would sound like Mickey Mouse. Yeah? Yeah. Sort of know where that spot is? Yeah. Okay, good. Now sing words this time. But keep that feeling of lift. Okay.
Doomba, 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 people brag, people boast, and consistently drink a toast to a place that allotted and place at the top of the list, top of the list.
Good. Now do it the other way. Do it the other way just for fun. Okay.
Doomba, 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 people brag, people boast.
Good, good. Yeah? Yeah. Is that better? I don't know if it's better or not, but some.
Good. Now, let's add Theo to that. So I'm gonna stay on you like Wyatt on Rice, and we're just gonna add you to the mix. Now you may find, Theo, a couple of things here. You have such a sort of natural brilliance to your voice that it may take 5 or 10% more just to lift, just a little bit. We're not talking about a lot for you. They have a lot more than you need to do. Maybe just a little bit. So let's just put this together and see what happens.
Doomba, 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 people brag, people boast, and consistently drink a toast.
Good. There we go, boys. There you go, Theo. Just you. Just you, Grace.
People brag, people boast, and consistently drink a toast.
Good. So, consistently is all beautiful. P. Those are two different sounds.
Yeah.
You feel those two different places? So can you put the high space in the low notes? That's how you do it. That's it. Okay, do that.
People brag, people boast, and consistently drink a toast.
That's just that easy. That's what it is. Okay. Now just David. That's all four of you guys do.
He's on him.
People brag, people boast, and consistently drink a toast to a place that allotted and place at the top of the list, top of the list. Are they wrong? Are they right? Is there reason for their delight? I must live in doubt till the day that I found out.
Yeah, that's
Is it true?
And the thing about it is you think you're there, but it's not quite.
Yeah.
George Gibb, do you guys know who
George Gibb is? George Gibb is one of my favorite people in barbershop, and he has this saying, and I love it. I'm going to steal it, but give him credit for it. He says, "You think you're giving me something, but out here we're getting nothing." And sometimes that's the way this is. Yeah, I feel like you guys feel Cole, especially you feel like it's there. It just needs to be more. Just keep coming up and over. And it's just going to feel so much more. So at this point, any questions, comments, cries of outrage from anyone? Or clapping? That would be fun too.
Doing what you did smoothed out the whole line.
I'll be the judge of that. No, I'm kidding. You're right, it did. Anything else?
Just want to say thank you guys for like exposing yourself to that.
No, don't expose yourself.
I find that certain vowel sounds, it's easier to keep the soft palate up than others.